you did a video basically saying that the 2030s will be a new renaissance. Can you explain why?
One of the things, and I've noticed this with my younger brothers, that's become so real because of social media is like this insane self-awareness and the rise of cringe culture, which I feel like it will take maybe decades for like historians and anthropologists to realize the effect that this has had on a generation. But like when I was in college, like Snapchat was around and Facebook and Instagram, but it was not like it is today. And like you could go to a party and go crazy and have fun, and like you didn't worry that you would end up with like on Barstool Sports TikTok with 1 million people laughing at you because of something you did. Now the self-awareness is very real, but I see a refreshing move towards authenticity. I think Alyssa Liu's a great example. She seemed to like inspire all of Gen Z with her like unabashedly alternative appearance, her whole attitude of like, I'm not chasing a medal, I'm here to have fun and to express my artistry, and people really seem to resonate with that. And the example I used in the video too, I know he's been controversial lately, is Timothée Chalamet. He gave a speech last year, an acceptance speech for his Bob Dylan movie, where he was like, I want to be one of the greatest. Like, I am chasing greatness. I'm not just here to participate. Like, I want to be the best. And that's a very Renaissance viewpoint of being the ultimate man, the Renaissance man, the man who can do it all. And you're chasing almost like a divinity here on earth. And I feel like cringe culture and this like self-consciousness has kind of made like a younger generation small, and they don't like, they just don't want to be seen, and they don't want to be perceived, because all they do all day on their phones is perceive others, and it makes them self-conscious. But I see hopeful movement away from that. And it's honestly, with the historical Renaissance, it was driven by like individuals. It wasn't like everybody woke up one day and was like, it's the Renaissance. It was individual people like doing great things and pursuing greatness in a way that made sense to them, and everybody caught up to that, and it changed the world. So I think my idea of the 2030s Renaissance is that those people are new Michelangelo, Leonardo. They're out there now, probably making TikToks or Instagrams or something, and it's coming. The Renaissance it's coming, or it's already here. That
does make me feel good.
Yeah.
It's an inspirational idea, right? That hopefully there's a counter reaction. I think typically things are, they swing, and that there is a massive overperception where everything is being seen. And I think slowly people will kind of shift back, where they're like, you know what, I can just have fun. Yeah. And I don't need to be worried about scrutiny, because everyone now has dirt on them. We've all blackmailed ourselves. And once everyone has dirt, I think it will hopefully remove that feeling a little bit.
Yeah.
Like eventually the president will have an embarrassing TikTok.
Yeah, of course.
And we're like, I don't even know.
Trump's got a lot of embarrassing footage.
That's fair. But it might be like a kid. Like it might be within like 2 decades that you're going to be like, oh yeah, he posted this on.
Yeah, I remember when he was on Vine or something.
Yeah, and it's going to be like, oh yeah, that's bad.
When Logan Paul 2036, No, but it's really interesting too. So what we were talking about at the very beginning with gambling and the Watsi and medieval China, I think there's this attitude now of, and I've seen like videos with titles like this on my YouTube feed made by young like Gen Z kids, being like, everything's screwed, the job market's screwed, I have a college degree and I can't get a job, I'm going to take the risk, I'm going to start the business, I'm going to post the YouTube video, I'm going to make this painting, like screw it. So the same, I think it can go two ways. The same impulse that might make you say screw it, I'm going to put everything on this parlay, could also make you say, all right, we're all being observed 24/7. Anything could be put on your TikTok in a certain way and portrayed a certain way. Like, screw it. Like, if everything is perception, everything's cringe, then I'm just going to be cringe. And to be cringe is to be free. I've seen people say that, and I feel like that's one of the stories, the cultural stories of the 2030s. Is like, to be cringe is like actual, real authenticity and feeling emotions without having to like layer it in irony and sarcasm and all this that we have now. I feel like that's so important to the human experience. Yeah. And if we can bring that back, I think it's coming back.
I think there'll be an etiquette around perception on top of that. Like, oh, I shouldn't be filming this.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think that there was a moment where it's like, you should be documenting everything, because why not? Like,
World Star.
Yeah, like we can film, so we should. And at least for me, like, I'll have moments that I film because I'm like, this is the craziest night ever. Like, me and all my friends are having the best time. This is amazing. And then you film it, then you watch it the next day, and it's worse. And you're like, oh, this was awful. And we sounded so bad. And I didn't make any sense. Like, it's almost embarrassing.
Right.
Whereas I would almost rather the memory exist. I don't want the memory to be destroyed by reality.
Right.
Like, I would rather you and I go to a wedding where, like, dude, we're tearing it up.
Yeah. And let's remember it that way.
Because remembering it that way, I think is actually better for your psyche than seeing the footage going like, I looked that stupid. Like, oh, this is so embarrassing. And I hope that by enough people having that feeling, because it's inevitable, that people will be like, you know what, I am going to dance to this wedding, and I'm not going to film that guy because he's going to film me. And like, we're both mutually accepting that we might look silly and we might be cringe.
Yeah.
So no one's going to film.
Yeah.
And then hopefully that will be the release. That I don't think it's going to happen through some type of external litigation, like no phones at the party. It's going to happen from everyone being like, we shouldn't have phones at the party in order for everyone to enjoy it.
Plus, you have to be embarrassing first. Like, you're going to, anything you do, and this is like a trite concept at this point, but like, you're going to suck initially. My first few YouTube videos are god awful. They're still on my channel, but they're terrible. Like, Da Vinci didn't come out of the womb like sketching perfect anatomically. Like, it's okay. Like, that's
too. You had to go Rob Graves.
Right, right. Exactly. There you go. Yeah. And so I feel like because on social media, so many kids are growing up only seeing the finished product of people's effort, that they're losing out on like the beauty of the process. And I hope now that we're big on like Twitch streaming and clavicular, and that's like a new level of like 24/7, the camera's rolling on him. It's like raw, unfiltered reality. And in that, you have to see the mistakes, and you have to see you know what I mean? And hopefully that inspires people to be like, that could be my process too. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you before we wrap up, I like reading Will Durant and his lessons of history with his wife Ariel, who always gets left out whenever you talk about them. But he basically kind of writes this big anthology about like, you know, everything that's ever happened in history, and then puts together a very small book that says, here are all the lessons that we can take away. What are the big lessons for you when doing all of your historical research? And if you can, what predictions do you make for the next 10 years? If, as we said, history rhymes, what happens next?
Well, a couple things would be that obviously human nature doesn't change, history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme, and that you actually really can, especially in the age of the internet. I mean, even in these last couple weeks, people with the Iran conflict and everything that's kind of popping off internationally, like there's a lot of chaos and confusion and uncertainty, but it's like you can kind of, if you can learn to recognize the historical patterns, that doesn't necessarily mean the same exact thing is going to happen, but you can at least understand the parallels and the potential motivations for what's going on. And I think that can influence your mindset, because I've talked to people who are like chronically online, but I've talked to them in real life, and they're just like besieged by this news item, and this is what's going on in this city, and did you hear about this, did you hear about that? And it's almost like, first of all, this is way more information than anybody in history would ever have had to deal with, and second of all, like, you as a human being cannot care about this many things. Like, choose something. My lesson would be like, choose local, like choose something you can influence and control, and like influence your local community, because that's how, up until the 20th century, like that's how human beings operated, especially in the Middle Ages. And I see that as the sort of prediction, like as the AI slop increases, as more and more people become aware, and I see it really with Gen Z, of the negative effects of social media, the negative effects of high screen time and TikTok and porn and gambling, like of movement towards getting involved in your local community, starting things, finding your tribe. Actually, like Discord servers are awesome, all that stuff is awesome, but like your real life tribe. And I think raw, unfiltered humanity is my prediction for the next 10 years. I honestly think it'll happen on that like concentrated of a time scale, that people will, like, social media will lose its allure. If I open my Instagram feed and it's all AI, I'm going to close it right away, and I'm going to go outside. Hopefully that's what people will do. So that's my thing. And I think it's already starting now. I think the Renaissance is starting now. And I think it's happening quietly. And I think it's happening because we don't have monoculture and a central like television that everybody watches or something. It's difficult to notice it because everything's so fractured now. But I think this new Renaissance will not be televised. And I think it's already happening. And I think it'll be driven by the youth.